Hi, my name is Leah Schoeb, and I work at Rubric as a Master Technologist and TME. And the reason why I want to talk to you today about operationalizing technology is throughout my career, I spent a lot of time in development, making new products, but one thing that I didn't think much about was how is this actually going to be operationalized in a production environment? And so I thought, I should take a year out and figure out what to do. So my previous job, I actually signed up to work in services to really understand what it takes to do this, and my eyes were open. So I will tell you that today, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably code completely different. I highly recommend every developer, anyone in engineering, even in the CTO's office, that you all should take the time out and do a 6-month, 12-month stint in services to really understand what really happens here. Because there's so many little nuances that we don't think about. We think, well, it's just a 5-minute install, but we don't think about what it takes to actually deploy it. And it's a little less about technology and a little bit more about operations and procedures. So I recommend that you get to know the folks over in services, over in operations. They're some of the brightest minds in the company, and a lot of people don't realize that. They think, oh, they're just customer service, or they just do special ops things and professional services, but actually they're the mavericks of the company. They're the ones that save your bacon when everything goes to hell in a handbasket and you really need to save that customer. So I really recommend getting to know them. They will tell you all the ins and outs of exactly what they go through. For example, even to provision a new virtual machine, a lot of times there'll be requirements of, okay, so you need to deploy an additional virtual machine to handle XYZ operations. We'll find out how long it takes your average customer to actually be able to do this. For example, I was supporting a healthcare company, and what I found out was that it took 4 months to get that virtual machine actually deployed. So you got to think about that for a second and think about the support matrix, exactly what you're asking for, because a lot of these infrastructures are webbed way back. I had another customer that was on vSphere 4.5. A lot of them are on 4.5, 5.5. And what you're going to find is if you require them to be on 6 or 6.5 for certain operations, it's not that they're not willing to do it. It's just how they have to go through all the procedures in their company, the sign-offs, everything that they have to do. And it may take 6 months before they get a chance to do a 5-minute install with your product. So just make sure you keep that in mind. There's a huge gap that I see between the product being developed and the product being deployed. And so with this gap, you just have to keep all of these things in mind. And if you get to know the folks in services and actually get an opportunity to try to close that gap, that would be quite helpful. And another thing that I've noticed in this is, in closing that gap, is some companies have enhancement requests. They say, hey, we just put in an enhancement request that's taken care of. Not necessarily, because I find a lot of those enhancement requests are actually ignored by the developers because they really don't understand the pain that our customers and our services folks go through to actually put this into production. So keep that in mind. And so in summary, I say, make sure you understand that. Try to close that gap. Try to get to know those folks. And if you do that, I think you're going to find yourself coding completely different. you're going to keep in mind what it takes to actually operationalize and what requirements you request in order to install that application. You're going to want to think twice before what you put in the support matrix.